The following information is available for the first month of operations for Diet Cox Inc., a manufacturer of sports apparel. Okay, and you see we have all of this information provided. And then we're going to use this information to determine cost of goods sold, direct material cost, and direct labor costs. Okay, so we've got information about sales and gross profit and overhead items and materials purchased. Now, let's see how we work through this. Okay, so the first thing we can calculate is cost of goods sold. They gave us sales of $2,050,000 and gross profit of $490,000. So the difference is cost of goods sold, 2050 and 490. Okay, it came from here, 2050 and 490. All right, and I'm just going back and forth between two sheets in Excel. All right, so then the next calculation we have to determine is total, well, essentially is how much was what was the value of the materials used in production. And I'm going to do this in a two-step process. I'm going to just do this little calculation where we start off with beginning inventory, and we know it's zero because it's the first month of production. Then we add the material purchases, which they gave us, so that means the total materials available would be equal to the material purchases. And then you subtract out ending inventory, which was given, and that gives you material used in production. Okay, so 801 and 36.8 was given to us. Let's go back and check that. Yep, there's our material purchased and the 36.8 of materials in ending inventory. Okay, so at this point, we now know the materials used in production. All right, so we've tackled the cost of goods sold. We know the materials used in production. The next items we need to calculate relate to total cost of goods sold. Now we know that consists of direct materials, direct labor, and overhead. And overhead is made up of indirect materials, indirect labor, and other factory overhead. And those were all given to us. In fact, I should put the word given in there. Okay, so now you see those three words appearing in there. Let's make sure those were really given to us. 45,000. What was the next item? 152 and 515. There's 152 for indirect labor and 515 for other factory overhead. All right, so the total of that is 712,000. We're just summing from below. And then we have to add in the direct materials. We calculated that, or have we? Let's direct materials 719,200. We calculate this by subtracting indirect materials from materials used in production. So there's our material used in production, and the indirect materials was 152,000. Okay. Oh, actually, the formula does appear. I just can't. You can't see it on the screen. Let me slide this up. There it is. B9 minus B15. Okay, so now that we have that, then we can just force direct labor, which we calculate by subtracting direct materials and overhead from total cost of goods sold. Okay, so if I take total cost of goods sold and subtract the other two components, then we force this amount. It has to be equal to 128. All right, and then the final step here is we have to determine how much was direct labor. Well, total manufacturing cost incurred was equal to 1710. All right, how do we know that? It was given to us, 1710. So if that was given to us, and so was 152,000, and so was other factory overhead, and we've calculated the materials, then the only component left to determine is direct labor. All right, and we would just subtract the other components from the total, and we come up with direct labor. Okay, so we've tackled all three of these questions: cost of goods sold, total materials, and total direct labor. And this problem is really about understanding what do you have and then forcing an unknown. and I hope you found this helpful.